Hey, I'm Jamey from Stonemaier Games, and today I'm going to talk about my favorite mechanism in the game, Apistocracy, which I just got my Kickstarter copy a few days ago and had a great two-player play of it. It looks like this. And so I'll start off by saying that if you love the thematic integration, the theme and the thematic integration of the game Obsession, I think you will really, really like Apistocracy, with the bonus being that Apistocracy plays in a really snappy playing time. I think you could easily play in an hour. For our learning game, it was a little bit over an hour for two players. But the theme is that you are trying to climb your way up the social ladder, which is represented as a beehive. That's why you have a bee miniature, even though you are a person, not a bee in this game. Trying to climb your way up this social ladder in Victorian England. And you're doing so by playing cards. So you can see there's a club right here. So if I wanted to, well, actually, here's a club and a spade right here. If I want to move up to this next level, I need to play a club and a spade. There's a slight deck building element there where you have these fairly standard playing cards. Some of them have a little tweaks, but mostly they're fairly standard playing cards. You're going to play a few of them if I want to move up here. And then at the beginning of the next round, there are 4 rounds in the game. I get to redraw back up to a hand of 5 cards from my deck. And there's some deck shuffling similar to deck building. So you're using playing cards in a really unique way there. And there are even more actions than this. Let's see. So there's this whole other board here. I think this is an earlier version because it's slightly different than the board that I have. But there's this other board where you are not, instead of climbing the social ladder, you're gaining new cards, or you are gaining engine building cards, or you're improving your end game scoring. A lot of different things that you can gain on this mat. Many of them do connect back to the social ladder that you're climbing here, all towards getting points, but also all towards playing a game or a hand of whist at the end of the game. And this, I thought, was a really brilliant twist. This is really all I knew about the game going into it. I knew that you were kind of building a hand of cards that you would eventually use for a game of whist. Whist is a basic trick-taking game. And so I love that not only are you using these playing cards via deck building and worker placement during the game itself to take actions and to work your way up the social ladder, but also at the end of the game, you are playing a hand of whist with 7 of those cards that you've acquired during the course of the game. Again, it's a very basic trick-taking game. Someone's going to play a card. You're going to try to follow a suit. There's a trump suit, and you get 2 points for every trick that you win in that little mini game of whist. The combination of that mini game at the end of the game combined with the use of the cards during the game, as soon as we finished the game, I was like, I want to play this game again. I want to do better at the game of whist. I want to do better at the actions that I'm taking during the game. And I say all that despite having won the game. Like, I actually won the game. Very close. It was a tie game, but I won the tiebreaker. Really, really satisfying gameplay. And I haven't even discussed everything. There's a player mat too, where you're gaining the same resources, the hearts, clubs, diamonds, and so on. You can gain them outside of the use of cards to you on your player mat, almost as resources that you can spend if you don't have the cards to play. Really, really clever use of playing cards in a game that has worker placement and other things going on, including the mini game of whist at the end. The other little thing that I wanted to mention in the game, what I'm showing you on the screen right now, is a component that I don't think I've ever seen before. This is a double-sided player reference that doubles as a kind of a fan that you could fan yourself with, but I think it's more thematic that this is the type of thing that a person of who's climbing the social ladder in Victorian England might be using on a hot summer's day. But it doubles as a player guide, a player reference, where on one side of these cards that you're fanning out, you're looking at what all the different actions do. There's descriptive text about what all the actions do. And if you flip it over to the other side, it shows you how to play that game of whist. And it's actually kind of neat that it is a fan, because if there are certain actions that you don't remember as well than others, then you could leave them exposed in the fan while covering up the actions that you know pretty well, so you can focus on only those. Really, really clever component here. As you can tell, I am kind of over the moon on Apistocracy. I was blown away by my first play, really delighted by it, and I cannot wait to play again. I really would highly recommend it if you like the game Obsession for the theme and the thematic integration. If you like the game Nirvana is a game about building a hand of cards and then shedding those cards. And even I am hesitant to say this, but I want to put it out there. If you like the hook in the game Arcs is a very different game in terms of gameplay, but it does use trick taking as a core mechanism of the game. And I honestly think in terms of playing time and the type of player interaction that I enjoy and the use of cards throughout the game, I think Apistocracy may actually take the cake from Arcs in terms of how it integrates a trick-taking game into a much broader theme and a much broader mechanism in terms of worker placement. So if you are intrigued by the mechanisms or enjoy the mechanism in any of those games, I highly recommend checking out Apistocracy. Thanks.